So I just want to say that public health and safety is the top priority, especially during these unique and fluid times. So we at AAA, and I think I speak for everyone here, are extremely cognizant of that and want to remind everyone that that's the backdrop against which we share what is really some very optimistic local travel news for New England today. So with that as a jumping off point, AAA is projecting that New Englanders will take almost 38 million road trips this summer. So if you were thinking that there would be no traffic this weekend as you head out for the 4th of July, you're going to have to rethink that plan. There will be a lot of traffic on our roadways. This summer will be the return to the Great American Road Trip because New Englanders still want to travel, but they're opting to hit the roads rather than flying or going by some other mode of transportation. Road trips across New England are down only 2% year over year compared to last summer, so from July 1st to September 30th. In fact, the dip in road trips across New England is lower than any other region of the country, some regions seeing dips in road travel of 5.5%. So that's really good news in terms of New England and in terms of our opportunities for travel. 97% of the travel that will be done this summer will be the road trips. While we have a 2% drop in road travel, air travel is down by almost 75%. With that in mind, AAA has two important messages that we want to share today. The first is planning ahead has never been so critical. Our travel advisors have been really busy helping travelers to map out routes, find lodging, purchase tickets to theme parks and tour attractions. This is not going to be the summer where you can just get in your car and spontaneously go and hope to find a place at the campground. Because of COVID, there will be limitations for, let's say, capacities of hotels or other attractions. So planning ahead is critical. And then the second part of that message is that when we talk about planning ahead at AAA, you know we always talk about making sure that your vehicle is road ready. And again, that message has never been so important. Because of COVID, if there's a breakdown, there are extra layers of complexity and increased risk because of the limitations for personal interactions and those kinds of things. So just a really important message. In recent weeks, we've seen our requests for membership, new memberships, renewing memberships spike as people want to take advantage of the hotel discounts and travel discounts. But mark my words, many of them will be taking advantage of our emergency roadside services as well. So we really want to encourage people to take a little time before they set out, make sure their cars are good to go, the tires, the battery, and the fluid, because a little time in advance is going to save you a lot of time, possibly inconvenience along the way, and it's going to be the safest choice is to make sure that your car is ready for you, your passengers, everyone else on the road. Okay, at this point, I would like to introduce Lieutenant Governor Susan Bysowitz.
Well, good morning, everybody, to AAA. Thanks so much for having me. Just so you know, my husband and I are members, and we think what you do is really great. And we want to encourage everybody in the state to have a wonderful and safe 4th of July holiday. This is something that our families look forward to every year. And we're going to be celebrating in a different way. People will be celebrating staying within our state, probably not traveling far outside of it. So the governor and I today wanted want to avoid those ambulances, and you can do that by making sure that you wear your masks, that you socially distance, that you get a designated driver if you plan on drinking, and that you don't speed. These are things that will help keep all of us safe. And, you know, I want to thank the people of Connecticut for taking all of the safety protocols with mask wearing, with social distancing so seriously, because it has put us in a very good place. As we look at other states seeing spikes, we continue to see our metrics move in the right direction with reduced infection rates, fatalities, and people in the hospital. So all of that is really good news, but we need to keep those good practices going. The other thing that I think is important to mention is that our state has so many wonderful recreational opportunities that are now open. Commissioner Dykes, our great DEP commissioner, is going to talk about all of the things that she is doing to keep our state parks safe and ready to accommodate all of the visitors that will be going. But I wanted to let everybody know that there are so many tourist attractions in our state that are now open. And these include great places like the Bradley Air Museum, the Beardsley Zoo, the Mark Twain House, the Harriet Beecher Stowe House, the Mystic Aquarium, Mystic Seaport, and so many more. Our hotels are open. Our restaurants are open for indoor and outdoor service. So please, everybody, enjoy all that our beautiful state has to offer. But please remember to take all those safety precautions so that all of us and our families can be safe. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor. When I saw these numbers that New Englanders would be taking 38 million road trips this summer, I thought, what a great opportunity for Connecticut, as the Lieutenant Governor mentioned. And I thought, what a great opportunity for me to call Randy Fiveash at the Office of Tourism and say, let's get this message out there. So without further ado, the Director of the Office of Tourism, Randy Fiveash.
Well, thanks, Amy. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be with you, and it's always great for the Office of Tourism, and as its director, it's always great to be with you. It's always great to have an opportunity to be with Amy and all the team at AAA. We do this often, and in partnership with AAA, and appreciate the Lieutenant Governor's comments and all your support. She's been a great supporter of tourism since taking office, and even before taking office in her other capacities. So we appreciate Lieutenant Governor and all the great work she does around the state. She's always around the state at the various attractions and various opportunities that she takes. So we appreciate you very much, and thank you for your remarks this morning. We're pleased to be here, and thank you for the opportunity. As you all know, or probably know and reported on, those of you in the media today, tourism industry-wide and nationwide, I should say, and here in Connecticut has been greatly impacted by the pandemic over the last several months. In fact, the sector here in Connecticut, the industry, the hospitality sector, was the hardest hit of the sectors in job-related losses in the month of April in Connecticut. But as we move forward, the good news is as we begin to open, we're seeing positive data that job losses and job growth is beginning to see recovery. Jobs are returning, good news. Research is showing, and people are eager to travel. All of our, not only our Connecticut research, but national and regional research is showing us that they're beginning to travel. And what Amy has talked about is also great news. Millions of Americans, including New Englanders, will hit the road this summer. Connecticut is uniquely positioned, as has been mentioned, to take advantage of this trend. Our compact size is uniquely easy to get around for Connecticut residents to jump in a car and enjoy the beautiful state without much planning. although Amy and her team can help those visitors and those that are getting ready to plan, getting ready to take a trip, to do all the great planning. And our proximity to our states and around the surrounding in New York and Massachusetts, Rhode Island, makes us particularly attractive road trip destination for out-of-state visitors as well. But it's not really just our size that makes us a great place. It's our tourism offerings, our diverse tourism offerings. Lieutenant Governor mentioned many of those. It's our incredibly diverse offerings, our state parks that I know Commissioner DEP is going to mention a number of those, 110 state parks and beaches, plus peaceful farms and countryside, countless ways to get out on the water, zip line through the trees, and miles of hiking and biking trails, wineries, 110 wineries and craft breweries. I'll wrap it up because we're going to get rained on here, but we all do it safely. Our industry has done a great job with all the safety protocols. The last thing I'll mention is everybody needs to make sure that they know about ctvisit.com. All of this is located on ctvisit.com. Have a great summer. We want to make sure our visitors do everything has been done following the protocols, the governor's protocols, CDC protocols. So thank you very much, and happy to answer any questions later on. Thank you.
You know what? Take this one.
Curly hair.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And now we're going to hear from Tuber Geltema from State Police.
Sorry, Amy, I think I jinxed us with our conversation earlier. So first of all, I want to thank AAA for letting us and inviting us here today. I'll talk really quick. We are seeing with the reopening an increase of the motorists on our highways. I know a couple months ago we spoke about how the decrease, we found motorists are speeding a lot more. And with the reopening, we just want to ensure the safety. So we're asking our motorists, our drivers, while they're in the state of Connecticut traveling over this holiday weekend, to watch their speed limit, to obey that speed limit. We're also asking that these passengers and these motorists in these vehicles to obey the laws, wear their seatbelts. We also are asking our operators while they're driving and traveling this weekend and throughout the state, whenever it is, throughout the year, to ensure that they're not following too closely. And two very important things is ditch those distractions and never drink and drive. Safety is our priority, and we want that to be the priority for everybody else. So one of our biggest things is the move over law, and I want individuals to understand what that move over law is. It requires individuals that see emergency vehicles stopped to slow down under the speed limit, and if they have the ability to move over to the furthest lane in the highway. Emergency vehicles are those vehicles with activated flashing lights. That includes ambulances, fire vehicles, law enforcement, highway maintenance type vehicles, tow trucks, yes, and our licensed wreckers. We also ask that if anybody sees a motorist that's on the side of the road, whether they're putting gas in their car, changing a tire, whatever it might be, to also adhere to those move over laws, because we find on our highways a lot of times somebody who might be putting gas in their car might be considered a fatality if they are hit. Starting tonight, all of our 11 troops will have roving patrols, and that will end on Sunday night. Our troopers know that accidents are preventable, so each of us have seen our share of tragedies throughout this state, whether it's injuries, serious injuries, or fatalities. We are asking people to obey the straight traffic laws while they're on their roads. This will prevent accidents, this will prevent injuries, and this will prevent death. Please help us do our job and have a safe weekend this weekend. Thank you.
Okay. So please note that AAA is all about being prepared, right? So with that in mind, we have umbrellas for anyone that needs them. And then at this moment, I'd like to introduce Commissioner Katie Dykes of DEEP. I'm going to give you a little umbrella.
Oh, thank you.
All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the invitation to be here. I'm Katie Dykes from the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. We're really excited for this weekend. 4th of July is a time, a lot of families, residents of our state have wonderful traditions that we look forward to celebrating, whether it's firing up the barbecue or heading to the beach. And, throughout this pandemic, it's been really exciting to see so many citizens across our state developing new traditions and exploring new ways to recreate responsibly outdoors, enjoy our more than 140 state parks and forests across the state, and find new ways to get outdoors and enjoy the wonderful resources that we have in our state. We are asking folks, as you're thinking about your plans for this weekend, it's a great time to get outdoors, but we're just doing things a little bit differently. And with the help of the citizens of Connecticut, visitors to our state parks have been doing a terrific job of making it possible for us to provide these great services and amenities, our wonderful outdoor recreation resources, in a way that is keeping people safe. So first off, when you're headed to the park this weekend and every weekend, every day, make sure you bring your mask. We encourage people to come in small groups with members of your household if you can, and maintain that distance of 6 feet. The same rules that apply in normal life are also applying when you visit our parks. Many people over 4th of July weekend, and frankly throughout these past several weeks, have been using our parks. We've seen visitor levels increase really significantly, which is always wonderful to see. That's what our parks are here for. That also means, though, that sometimes our parks are closing and reaching capacity more frequently than they would in normal times. So we are providing some great tools for folks so that you can not be surprised when you get to a park and see a gate closed. Plan ahead. So first off, if you're thinking about coming to one of our popular shoreline parks, we encourage you to check out What's Open Outdoors. It's a new website that we've set up. You can Google it, and we're providing real-time information about the opening and closing of parks when they're reaching capacity, particularly along the shoreline, not just for the deep shoreline state parks, but also many municipalities are using the What's Open Outdoors website to provide information about capacity closures at municipal beaches. So plan ahead, check ahead, so you're not surprised. Have a plan B. If you get to a park and you find that it's closed to capacity, again, we're maintaining those capacity closures as a way to keep people safe, so that we can keep the numbers of visitors in a park at a level where people can maintain that social distance. So please don't, park outside of a park and then try to walk in. That's really challenging for us. It's not safe for you. It's not safe for the other visitors to our park. Just plan to come at a different time, or check out our deep website where you can find the locations of all of our parks. There's many alternatives that are out there. If you follow the hashtag CT Trails Less Traveled on Twitter, we've been collecting a lot of information about some of our more undiscovered gems. So while the shoreline parks are really popular, there are tons of places around the state where you can go to have a picnic, to barbecue, to hike a trail all around the state. We have a park within 15 minutes drive of everyone in the state of Connecticut. So again, this is a great time to make new traditions with your family and check out some of those less undiscovered locations. Of course, safety is really important. As we've talked about ways to stay safe on the road, boating is another thing we should talk about. We have over 100 different state boat launches that we maintain around the state. We know there's been a lot of interest in boating as a pastime that people can enjoy and a way to stay socially distant. On 4th of July weekend and at every time, we just want to remind everyone to stay safe when you're out boating. If you're getting on the water, please don't operate a vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs. This is illegal on all bodies of water, and it can lead to serious injuries and consequences. So we're really reminding people to boat sober and always wear a life jacket when you're on the water. We are providing, we've gotten some questions about picnicking at the state parks. We are providing for that. People can enjoy picnicking and using picnic tables. Again, we aren't able to disinfect them like is happening at restaurants, so we encourage people to bring a tablecloth, be prepared. Camping is another really popular amenity that we provide at our state parks, and we're really pleased that our camping season is kicking off in the month of July. We'll have a full reopen of camping on July 8th. So again, a lot of people are having to adjust their plans because of this pandemic. We're really excited to be meeting the needs of our Connecticut residents with our wonderful state parks as people are looking for opportunities to recreate close to home. And we look forward to seeing everybody coming out this weekend. And again, just a little advanced planning and always bringing your mask and wearing your mask. We know that we'll have a great time and enjoy this 4th of July. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner. That pretty much wraps it up. We really appreciate you sharing our safety messaging, which is, as critical this summer as it's ever been. So thanks so much for being here today, and we really appreciate it. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Courtney.
So that's right. We did open up our reservation system on June 20th, and we've seen a lot of interest. But primarily, the interest has been from Connecticut residents who've been registering for our reservations on our state campgrounds. But we are advising, consistent with the messages from the Department of Public Health, for any out-of-state visitors who may be coming to our campgrounds, we are advising them on the 14-day quarantine requirements.
But you can't camp yet, though, right?
Pardon?
Camping hasn't started.
Right. So we're doing sort of a soft launch of our camping starting today for RV only, where you have a fully contained RV. But starting next week, July 8th, all types of camping, tent camping, and so on, will be open for that.
I also wanted to point out that in the press release that you have, digital or you have in your hand, that AAA has created an interactive map that has the latest guidelines and restrictions for every state. So if you want to put that on your website and direct traffic to your website, it's really a fabulous tool. And it tells you, so no matter what state you're going through or going to, you'll know what those restrictions are in terms of travel and quarantining and all that information. Okay, anyone else with any questions? Great. Thanks so much for being here.